What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Destroyer, and welcome back to my playthrough of the Microsoft Flight Simulator here on the Xbox Series X. Yes. Now, in the first video, the part 1 video, I completed the basic handling, which I got 79% on there. Well, 79% mastered. And I thought what I'll do is I'll keep that for, one video. Then in today's video, part 2, we'll do the takeoff and landing. Part 3 will be VFR navigation, and part 4 will be the airliner training, so I'm looking forward to that one. So let's be honest, everyone wants to fly the big jets, not these little pissy-ass planes. But let's have a look at takeoff and landing, practice getting into the air and safely back down again. All right, so 4, 5, 6, 7 things to do here. So taxiing, maneuver from parking space to the runway. Let's get it. One essential skill before flying in the sky is the taxiing aircraft, a training session dedicated to familiarize you with rolling and steering an aircraft on the ground. Use the rudder pedals to steer the aircraft, control rolling speed with throttle and brakes, and taxi to the holding point of runway 21 and stop. All right, ready to fly.
Let's take a moment to talk about taxiing. Taxiing refers to moving the aircraft on the ground under its own power. In particular, getting from the ramp out to the hold short point on the edge of the runway. Steering on the ground is managed through the rudder pedals. That's right, unlike driving a car, we turn by using our feet. Okay, ready? With the throttle idle, release your parking brake. Okay. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft moving. Go easy on your throttle. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. As you increase power, watch the tachometer and make sure to stay around 1,000 RPM.
Look at this shit, dude.
Now test the brakes. Good. Brakes checked. Taxi to the next exit, then come to a stop. Remember to control your speed with throttle and brakes. See the crossing in front of us? Stop before it as if traffic was coming off the runway.
Why isn't it moving, dude? There we go.
Watch your speed. Watch your speed.
Skirt!
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway. Taxi to the next exit, then come to a stop. Remember to control your speed with throttle and brakes. See the crossing in front of us? Stop before it as if traffic was coming off the runway.
Alright, so I'm going to start braking a little earlier this time. I don't know how good the brakes are, though. Okay, that's good enough.
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
Oh my god.
Alright, taxi to holding point Alpha 1 next. It's at the far end of the airport near the head of runway 21. Stay as close as possible to the taxiway center marked by the yellow line, and watch your speed.
Let's go. Yeah, I think this would be much easier to do and control the plane using a stick or a yoke and all that sort of stuff. Because this seems a bit difficult using the controller, so...
Watch your speed.
So I think I'm struggling with the throttle.
After the right turn, come to a stop before the hold short point and prep for takeoff.
Hold point. Stop.
You mastered that lesson. The next challenge will be to keep the aircraft under control while at full throttle for takeoff.
Okay. Actually, that did a bit better than I thought I did. Hey, alright, sweet. Let's do the next one. Which be takeoff, line up and get airborne. Let's do that. There is nothing like the thrill of taking flight. A training session dedicated to getting you off the ground, taxi into position on the runway, accelerate to 55 knots before pitching up to take off. Rotation. Maintain 75 knots while climbing to safety altitude of 5,500 feet.
There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway, and to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching.
Looks good.
Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. Now slowly taxi onto the runway and align the plane with the center line. Then stop your plane just after the number 21.
I wish it would give me like a percentage indicator, you know, how much throttle I'm actually using. Because it feels like I'm guessing all the time. And stop.
Excellent. All right, let's do this. Apply full power and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go.
Alright, first time taking off in this game, let's get it.
Use your rudders to stay on the center line and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots.
Oh, God.
Good. Now gently pull back on the yoke.
Hey, we're airborne.
Pull back on the yoke and we're airborne. Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. Focus. You put your plane in a dangerous situation.
What?
All right, let's do this. Apply full power and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go. Use your rudders to stay on the center line and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots.
Alright, let's try that again.
Good. Now gently pull back on the yoke. And we're airborne. Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. Focus
Is that
on
alright?
flying straight. Use your rudders to keep the runway heading of 210 degrees. Maintain 75 knots and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time.
Okay, I don't want to pitch it up too much because I did that the first time and I put the plane in a dangerous position apparently, so I'm just trying to keep it steady like this. Okay, we're almost at 70 knots. Use a little bit of rudder. No, I had it and then I lost it. Maintain 70 knots.
Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude. Good job.
Alright. Cool. Got a B. Good enough for me. Alright. Go down, please. Thank you. Alright. What was next? Dead stick landing. Focus on yoke to land. In this training session, you will be placed in conditions that will allow you to focus on using the yoke only to land, manage speed and glide path on the final approach, flare the aircraft to touchdown smoothly, and brake after landing to end the flight safely.
For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast.
Oh, what? I was aligned with the runway and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
I've always had problems with landing. I don't know why, but...
We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back.
Okay.
Now focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
Nice. We've
now
touched down.
apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
And stop.
Well done, but there's room for improvement. Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing.
Lots of room for improvement there. Alright, got a B. It's fine. Let's go back and do the next one. Landing without elevator. Focus on throttle for a smooth approach. In this training session, you will be placed in conditions that will allow you to focus on the throttle to manage the glide path on the final approach to land. Manage glide path on the final approach. Flare the aircraft to touchdown smoothly and brake after landing to end the flight safely. Okay.
In this landing exercise, I want you to focus on staying on the glide path using the throttle only. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate.
Here, I'm trying to align myself with the runway here. A bit of rudder action. See, it's a bit jerky. Using the controller, as you can see. Anyway, I should probably concentrate a bit more. Now I'm way out of whack. My God, look at this, man. You know,
now
props.
You can use the elevator to land.
Okay. As I was saying, props to the real world pilots out there, you know. They do a great job. It's a lot harder than one would think, so... Okay, I'm backing off on the... What do you call it?
Reduce
Follow
throttle
the
to
glide
idle.
slope.
Now focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
Stay on centerline and brake. That wasn't too bad. My alignment was shocking though.
You did well, but you can do better.
Hell yeah, I can do better. But yeah, seriously, props to the pilots out there, man. You do excellent job. Well, you do a excellent job, should I say. No, that was the wrong thing. That's basic handling. I want to go into takeoff and landing. Thank you very much. All right. ABBB. Landing. Combine throttle and yoke to land safely. Okay. What goes up must come down. In this training session, we'll focus on the key techniques and successful landings, manage speed and glide path on the final approach, flare the aircraft to touchdown smoothly, brake after the flight, blah, blah, blah. Let's get it.
My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 10 degrees of flaps and idle power. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
Tell me more about your flaps, love. So it starts off with aligning you with the runway, but then it just disappears. I haven't even moved the plane. That's weird, but anyway. Alright, maintain 65 knots. Let's have a look. We're maintaining that. That's alright. Trying to do nice smooth motions on the left stick, but like I mentioned, it is pretty sensitive, so it's hard to get it perfect basically, so I always seem to drift over to the left of the runway. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to descend a little bit. Nose down. Still maintaining... Oh no, we just lost it. Just as I say that. Yep, there we go. Got it back. So I don't think I should be descending anymore, because that's obviously going to speed the plane up. Right, that doesn't look too bad, I suppose. Because it's naturally going to descend, like she said, you know, the flaps are set, blah, 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 so... I know, I think it's just a habit of pitching the nose down a bit when I get closer and closer to the runway. Go to the right a touch. Nope, okay. I know I probably should be using my rudders. But there we go. I'll use rudders instead.
Reduce throttle to idle. Now focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
Oh dear.
Nice. Now apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
I'm sorry, lady, but that was not nice. That was a shocking landing, man. Whew.
You did well, but you can do better.
I can do a lot better.
Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing.
Okay, so we got another B. Surprisingly, actually. That landing was pretty rough. But, yeah. I mean, we're learning here. So, combine the throttle and yoke. Okay, we've just done that one. Downwind. Follow a traffic pattern to prepare for landing. Okay. That might be a bit easier. This training session covers the procedures to be performed from downwind leg to final approach. Once established in downwind, along the runway 21 at 6,000 feet. Start to prepare for the landing by reducing the speed to 80 knots and set 10 degrees of flaps. A good distance from the runway is a gliding distance. You can judge by seeing the runway from the cockpit at about half the strut under the wing. When turning onto base leg, reduce power and maintain the attitude to fly at 65 knots. When turning to final approach, keep maintaining 65 knots and follow the glide slope. Use power or flaps as required to adjust the slope, then flare, land, and brake close to the runway centerline. Training duration 4 minutes. All right.
Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. Reduce speed to 80 knots. Maintain constant altitude and heading. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current altitude. We're gonna fly past the end of the runway here. Keep going until you see it at a 45-degree angle behind you. That's your cue to turn left onto the base leg.
So we maintain 80 knots. Got to maintain 6,000 feet. Reach the end of the downwind leg. All right, I'm going to try my best, man. There we go, we're on 6,000 feet.
Turn left onto the base leg.
Yeah, this is a bit hard with the sticks. I know I keep mentioning that, but... the game looks very, very nice. I am only playing in 1080.
That'll also keep our speed around 65 knots. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn. Turn left onto final. Make your left turn onto final.
I am. I'm doing it. Trying to work out the throttle.
Keep a stabilized approach and prepare for landing.
Okay. Land on runway 21, maintain 65. We're gonna lose a bit more throttle. I've banked too far over to the left. I think I literally just cleared that mountain there. Okay, we're going... No, we're nearly at 65. I feel like I'm too low here. Can't see. There we go. Come down smoothly, flare it a little bit, flare it a little bit. Get down, dude. Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. Whee. See, that's the sensitivity of the stick. I'm holding down X. There we go. It's not too bad. It took a bit longer than I thought it would to actually touch down, but how's that? Passable?
That was alright.
Maybe.
A little more practice will help your accuracy, though.
Yes, ma'am. Alright. Got a C for that one. At least I haven't got any D's yet. I haven't said that, I'll probably get that in the next one. And the final one, which is first solo flight. Take your first solo flight. Oh, great. Yeah. Alright, you've trained for this. Now it's time to show off your skills. Which, That'll be interesting. Complete standard traffic pattern without assistance from the instructor. Take off and climb at 75 knots until you reach 5,400 feet. Turn left across wind leg and climb to 6,000 while maintaining 75 knots. Once established in downwind leg, maintain the attitude to fly at 6,000 feet. Start to prepare for the landing by setting speed to 80 knots and extend 10 degrees of flaps. Enter base leg and prepare the aircraft for landing. When turning to final approach, keep maintaining 65 knots and follow the glide slope. Use power or flaps as required to adjust the slope. Training duration 8 minutes.
It's time. Your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your
Something
goal is
tells
to
me
complete
I
Stoner's
will.
left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember what we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine.
Well, I
See you
don't
on the other
really,
side.
so yeah, thanks for that, love. I appreciate that. Alright, take off. So obviously, we need some throttle. What was it? 55 knots to take off, I think? So I can't even remember, man. Ah, well, it is only a game. Let's have some fun, yeah? Let's just hope I don't crash. That's the wrong stick. Good start. Ah, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Alright, maintain 75 knots. Reach 5,700 feet. We're flying though. It's pretty cool. Let's have a little look around. Lovely. Alright. Reach the end of the upwind leg. Let's have a look at our altitude. We're just gone over 2,000 feet, so we now need to get a bit higher here. Come on. I think I'll start having a look at some yokes and flight sticks and stuff. Because I reckon it'd be much easier to use one of them. Okay, we've maintained 75 knots. We've just crossed over 4,000 feet. Heading towards 5, so we want to reach 5,700. Slight bank to the left there, just a little one. Alright, 5,000. And we should be there, no? Okay. Turn left to begin crosswind leg. Straighten out. There we go. Okay, 6,000 feet, maintain 75 knots, and then reach the end of the crosswind leg. Yeah, I mean, as you can see with the movement, it is super sensitive on the sticks. I know I keep mentioning it, but it doesn't really help me, so yeah. I think I'm too high now. Oh no, there we go. Right on it. Okay, turn left for the downwind leg. Reminds me of that yoga move. What is it? Downward dog or something? I don't know. I don't do yoga, man. I don't know. Wait. Thank you. Holy shit. What did that mean? What did that do? Alright, maintain 6,000 feet. Maintain 80 knots, which I've done. I'm a little bit over now. I might ease up on the throttle a touch. There we go. I should be on 6,000 feet, yes? No? I think I lost a bit of altitude when I was banking then, so... Okay, we'll go down a bit. I need to descend slightly. To get back to 6,000 feet. You know, it's funny, I was actually reading the altimeter wrong. What an idiot. Anyway, so we'll get back down to 6. And we'll back off on the throttle a touch. Try and get back to 80 knots. There we go, there's 6,000. Straighten out a bit. Try and get back down to 80 knots. Extend flaps. Alright, it's a bit hard because my thumb's on the yoke, but... Ooh, there we go. Yeah, a flight stick or an actual yoke is going to be much easier. Let's try and get back up to 6,000 feet. It's bloody hard using the analog sticks, I tell you. Okay, we've reached the end of the downwind leg. Now turn left for the base leg. But yeah, if you enjoyed watching me fail at these videos at flying, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. Some more failures coming in the near future. Alright, so we have successfully turned left, which is a good start. But yeah, first solo flight. Okay, reach the end of the base leg, reduce power to 1400 RPM and maintain 65. There's the runway to our left a bit. Actually, let me adjust the camera. Alright. I might, I turned a bit late there. I might attach a keyboard and mouse as well, because I reckon it'd be a bit easier to like navigate the menus and all that with a keyboard and mouse. So, because I don't like the sensitivity of the sticks and I don't like the sensitivity of the cursor. So it's a bit sluggish for my liking. But we're going way too fast. We have to descend a little bit. Land on runway 21. I'm going to try my hardest. Yeah. No. Stay like that. Slight left. Bang. There we go. Slow down. Idle. Yeah. Yep. That's the way to do it, folks. Ready? Boom. Hit the brakes. Try and get onto the center line at least. And let me know in the comment section below how you guys went with this, with the training. If you mastered 100% and all that, let me know. Boom. We're good?
I think a bit more practice may be a good idea. You're on
I
your
think
way
you're
to
right.
becoming one hell of a pilot.
Yes, ma'am. I think you might just be saying that, so we've got a C there. Okay. Not bad for the first go. All right. So I'll go back to the training menu. I think that was the last one, wasn't it? So 66%. Yes, it was. That was the last one. So what I'm going to do, guys, like I mentioned in the first part, I am limited with time for recording and all that. So what I'm going to do is keep the intros, the videos, and the outros short and sweet for now, just because I need time to edit and upload and all that good sort of good stuff. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more. Comment section below, use it. Let me know what you think of the game. Have you played it on the Xbox Series X? Have you only played it on the PC? Let's get a bit of a conversation going. Do you like it? Do you don't? All that sort of good stuff. But anyway, guys, we'll see you in part 3. Adios.